In this short video, we're going to look at managing queues and maximum capacities. This will cover some scenarios that you may find yourselves in and some questions you may have. All customers queuing must maintain a distance of 2 metres and you should never block other retailers, roads or fire exits. Just like the last few sales, you would have agreed a permanent queuing area and a temporary queuing area with your area manager. The permanent queuing area is the safe space you have outside your store to queue customers. You will have roundels laid out to show this. Make sure you've used the external roundels only. These have numbers on them. You may have the opportunity to extend your queue, for example, in front of a neighbouring retailer before it opens. This is known as your temporary queue. Before sale, your store manager will have talked to you about the permanent and temporary queuing areas and maximum capacities, and you will have walked these routes together. If you are helping managing the queue, you will need a high visibility vest, a radio and a megaphone. This will help you stand out from the crowd and stay in touch with the store and the customers. As the customers join the queue, welcome them and tell them about the safety measures we have in place. Let's look at what this will look like.
Morning, welcome to the sale. If you don't mind just grabbing 2 bags for me, one for your clothing and one for your shoes and accessories, it will really speed you up at the till point. Don't mind sanitising your hands before you go in. Enjoy!
This is also an ideal opportunity to let customers know about changes to layouts. For example, if you've moved children's wear onto a different department. Let's have a look at the animation. It's sale day. Customers, the blue dots, are starting to queue outside of your store in your permanent queuing area. Once the customers start to join the temporary queuing area, you will need to let them know that if the queue hasn't reduced by the time your neighbours open, they will have to leave and come back later. It's important to be open and honest. Here's an example of what you could say.
Morning, as you can see we're super busy here this morning. We can queue along here until this store opens, but unfortunately if we haven't reached this queue over here by then, we'll have to ask you to leave and come back a little bit later.
Keep the customers queuing in the temporary queue updated so that if you need to close the temporary queue, it does not come as a shock to the waiting customers. If the time comes that you have to disperse the temporary queue, here's an idea of what you could say.
Morning, sorry, as I mentioned earlier, we can only have you queuing in this area until this store opens. It's now 5 to 8 and they are about to open. I'm really sorry, I know it's really disappointing, but I am going to have to ask you to move around from this area and possibly come back a little bit later. We are working as hard as we can to get people in and out.
The majority of customers will understand this and listen to your advice. However, a small minority may try to refuse to leave the queue. Be polite but firm. If you have any issues, contact a manager to come and support you. There may be a time where you need to stop letting customers into your store. This could be because a certain department has become too congested. Your store manager will let you know if this is the case. As well as the store maximum capacity, each department has one too. There may be times when the department reaches this and we have to stop letting customers in. If this happens, you will use a 10 SATA barrier to pull across the entrance and you will pop on a high vis while you man this area. This will make sure you're visible to customers as they look to you for communication. The 2 scenarios here. 1. Space to queue waiting customers. If you have space, you would have already set up a queuing area. Here's what you could say if the department reaches the max cap.
Morning, unfortunately the children's wear department is completely full at the moment. We're working as quickly as we can to get people through the tills. If you don't mind just waiting down here and keeping your 2 metre distance, we're operating a 1 in and 1 out system.
2. No space to queue customers. You may not have the space to allow customers to wait at an entrance. You will need to be polite and friendly and explain the following.
Morning, I'm really sorry but the children's wear department is completely full at the moment. We're working as quickly as we can to get people through the tills. There's not really a lot of space around here to queue, so if you don't mind having a look maybe at another department, we shouldn't be too long.
Don't use this video as a script, always be natural and think of your tone of voice and body language when talking to customers. Update customers regularly, let them know we're doing all we can to keep them safe and make their sales shopping experience as good as possible. Thanks for watching, stay safe and have a great sale.